So first of all, we see some follicles. So we're like, okay, I'm looking at the ovary here. You see some big tertiary follicles that don't happen to show an oocyte. Now, think about that for a second. Remember, a follicle is not a circle. It's a sphere, right? It's three-dimensional. So if the oocyte is like maybe over here, but you slice through right here, you're going to totally miss the oocyte. So don't be surprised if you see a lot of these, which look like empty tertiary follicles. It's probably not really empty. It just happens that the slice went through and totally missed the oocyte. So you kind of have to get lucky to get a view like this, where you not only get the antrum, but you get the oocyte too. That's why you only see a few of those like textbook ones. The rest of them look like this. They just look kind of empty. But anyway, when you see those and you see some little primordials out here and you see maybe the beginnings of something else there, you're like, okay, I'm looking at the ovary. Where's the corpus luteum? Corpus luteum is massive. This is all corpus luteum, and I know it's kind of hard to tell under low power exactly what it looks like, but here's to give you a sense of its consistency. It's like a giant gland. Okay? If you were to look at pictures of the hypothalamus, not hypothalamus, parathyroid gland, or the pancreas, or most glands that you guys, the anterior pituitary even, it has this kind of mottled glandular look to it. A lot of dots, a lot of purples and pinks mixed together. That's the corpus luteum. And it's so big, that's all corpus luteum there. Check out the edges of it. Here's one edge of it. I'm kind of following along. Here's the other edge of it. It basically spans from one side of the ovary almost all the way to the other side of the ovary. That's all corpus luteum there. So what we would do for the test is something like this, where you can see plenty of corpus luteum in view, but you can tell that you're in the ovary. That way you won't confuse this for an endocrine gland. You'll see ovary, but we put the pointer down here. And you'd be like, wow, the pointer's on something massive and glandular looking, but I know it's the ovary. It must be the corpus luteum. That's the approach we'll take. So again, corpus luteum, huge mottled thing. And if you grab a corpus albicans slide, you're going to look around for a little kind of cloudy looking thing. Now here's again, this is another tertiary follicle that is filled with follicular fluid that doesn't have an oocyte in view. Massive. But this is not the puffy cloud we're looking for. You'll see you'll know when you see it. Let's see if we can find it. Oh, there we go. Sorry about the black spot. This is corpus albicans. You can kind of see the outer shape of it. So that's one right there. Looks like it kind of extends up in there too. Here's another one over here. I think there was another one right about there. We moved it over. Another little one right up there. So if you zoom in on the corpus albicans, here's what it's going to look like. Just collagen. It's basically pure collagen. It looks a lot like dense, irregular connective tissue. That's essentially what it is. A scar. You can see little purple specks. Those little purple specks are the fibroblasts that are secreting the collagen. I get it just right. But again, what I would do is just focus on low power. Be able to see something like this under low power. Be able to take a look around and say, okay, this is an ovary. Oops, that Tony's pointing at. A little puffy white cloud in the ovary. That's the big corpus albicans. So that would be like a testable view right there. Any questions on the ovaries? Our last slide is the uterine tube, also known as the fallopian tube or oviduct. So here it is under low power. Remember, it's a tube, so it's going to have a lumen. So we see the lumen, that's of course where the oocyte is going to be floating through once it's been ovulated. Also where the sperm are going to be swimming up through to try to fertilize that oocyte. Lumen, and notice that the mucosa has lots of folds in it. So you see on your list, mucosal folds. So if we put the pointer on one of these guys and say, name the structure, the specific structure, mucosal fold. If we put the pointer out here, you'll notice lots of layers of smooth muscle. So you can call this the muscular wall. You can call this the muscularis. I'll probably even accept smooth muscle. That would probably be okay too. But muscular wall is the more technical term there. And let's take a little closer look. Now it's hard to tell from here, but these are actually ciliated cells. So if we put the pointer on the purple layer, so you can see the purple layer that's kind of going all the way, and say name the specific tissue type, ciliated columnar epithelium. So again, ciliated columnar epithelium if we ask for the tissue type, mucosal fold if we say name the specific structure, and then out here, muscular wall, muscularis, whatever you want to call it. And the whole thing is the uterine tube or fallopian tube or oviduct, whatever you prefer. All right, questions about uterine tube? All right, so for today, as you continue to study the models and the slides, let me know if you're having trouble finding something. Also, let me know if you have any questions on your graded cranial nerve test. And remember, you've got the